I sit here.
Yes, please.
Okay.
How are you?
I am fine, a bit tired,
Yeah.
but fine.
You went to all the activities, the parties? Or
Are you joking?
No.
No. I did a lot of interviews this
Okay.
morning, and the trip was long,
Yeah.
and it's all these energies, and you give and you take, and it's kind of exhausting.
And how do you find TIFF Cluj, Romania?
I found it wonderful.
Okay.
I find it wonderful. There is a lot of love for the movies, for cinema, and this is so important.
Yeah, I agree. We agree.
Yes.
I made a little introduction for you, but I
Okay.
think we can get into the interview because
Okay.
you came like a storm already. So I think we can talk a little in a chronological way. My first question is, cinema chose you at when you were 14 years old. Did you understand at that time what was happening with your life and with your future career?
No, absolutely not. I thought that I would do this movie and go back to school.
Okay.
But it didn't happen like this. I did try to go back to school, but then I was called for another movie, then another movie, so I never went back, really.
Okay. How was the relationship with your parents? Did they let you to do this thing?
Well, I had only my mom, my father had died already, and if my father would have been alive, I don't think I would be here.
Okay.
No. My father was very Italian, Napolitan, and very jealous about his girls, so he was very strict with us, and he wouldn't have never left me to be an actress.
It's funny because I read that Anda Onesa, which also has a prize this edition, had almost the same story. She almost wasn't let to act in her first movie. You entered, as I read, almost by accident this world with Damiano Damiani's La moglie più bella. Since then, you made over 80 movies.
More than that.
More than that. 90, over 90 movies.
Over 100.
Over 100 movies. But who was the first great actor or actress who truly impressed you when you met them, when you were young, at your first movie with Damiano Damiani?
With Damiano Damiani, well, I got married with the lead of the movie, so I guess he impressed me. But then I think that the first one that really impressed me, but more not as an actor, as a human being, was Ugo Tognazzi.
Okay. Why was that? What did he have special?
Well, he was very understanding, very sensible. I don't know if it's right, the word. And he sensitive. He would, thank you. He would know, because for me, everything was new. I didn't have a school. I didn't learn how to act. So for me, many times I was like, oh my God, how would I do this? And he was watching me, and he would not say much, but he would come and tell me things. And he was really very close to me. In fact, we became very good friends in life.
You have said that you learned acting by watching others. What were you looking for when you watched them? How did you get the craft?
Well, by watching, you see a lot. You see what you don't like and what you like. And that's wonderful because for many years I was watching, so I knew what I would never want to become. And then you see how actors approach the scenes, how they learn, how they speak to the director. It's important to have an interaction with the director. I was very shy and very scared, so I wouldn't dare for many years. But then, now it's nice when you have a doubt, when you need to go deep inside a scene to ask what is really behind what you're doing.
And how do you find these answers? What's your process of finding them?
Well, for me, the first thing is the director. Of course, the first thing you read the script. And already there, while you read, you're already seeing yourself somehow, you know. And then you speak to the director who knows exactly what he wants to see on the screen and what he wants from you. So that is the first step. Now, today, we also start to do readings. Before, that was not something that in Italy was done. And in this particular matter, theater taught me a lot, because by reading with other actors, with the director, already there you start to understand what is that you should be doing. Okay. And then, you know, I just imagine how I could do it, why I would do it like this. It's a big thing.
So you need to have a big imagination to be a big actor or actress?
I don't know. That I don't know. Really, I cannot say. Maybe some wonderful actors, they don't need to have an imagination, but I do.
Okay. So it helped you.
It does, yes, because you already start to imagine how you would be playing it and why you will be playing it that way.
Yeah, it's like you go into a place, it's empty, and then you put things in your imagination and you start
correct, yes,
constructing the
yes.
words. Yeah. And regarding your relationship with the directors, I was curious, did you have any particular director who understood you even better than you understood yourself in a point in your career at a movie?
But I think that that's always like this, because when a director chooses you, unless you are imposed, which was not for me actually, but when a director wants you, already he knows. So he knows what he wants from you and what he can get from you. So you know that he knows, and it doesn't matter if you know, but then when you work, when you start this rolling, it comes out, you know, I want you like this, you have to be this, but it's a matter of small things that get together.
In my introduction, I was writing that you worked with many great Italian directors, but as well with Peter Greenaway, John Landis, Woody Allen. So you are very versatile. You worked in many genres and many types of movies. Was this something which was hard to go through from one type of movie to another one?
Well, I'm sorry to say this, it's a bit stupid, because an actor is an actor. You're not a genre actor. You know, an actor should be able to try at least to do everything. It's not that you are only a dramatic actor, you're only a comedy actor. No, you should be able to go like a flow. That's being an actor.
Yes, of course. Yeah, but what I was thinking was that some actors enter in one typology and they never get out.
Yeah, but that's not their fault. It's what then the producer, the public wants to see them. They put you in a standard. But an actor, sometimes, you know, let's say a dramatic actor could be a wonderful comedy actor, but, you know, they don't allow maybe the actor to be exploring other fields. But in reality, we should be able to move from one character to another. That's why the movie symbol is two masks, one that smiles and one that cries, because that's where we are challenged.
In what movies did you feel the most challenged? In what projects?
I always feel challenged, because for me, every new thing I do, it's a new thing. So for me, it's always emotionally very strong. You know, I was just telling before in the many interviews I did, it's terrible to repeat myself. But when you play theater, when I play theater, for example, and I play every night the same thing, even it's never the same thing, but more or less it is. And every evening before I enter the stage, I have 15 minutes of fear, of anxiety, because this keeps me alive. If not, if you sit on your work, you lose that emotion, you lose that magic. Maybe you do it wrong anyways, but you know.
Yeah, but at least you feel alive, you feel...
Correct.
I want to go to another particular subject of your career and your life, about your public image, beauty and success. Did you ever feel that people saw your beauty before they saw your work?
Yes, of course.
And how did you manage to get over, or maybe you didn't need to get over that?
No, there is no techniques here. The fact is, that's how it is, you know. I don't know, that's what I received from others, that my image was coming before what I was really giving. Sometimes I was just chosen for this, but then it's up to me to show that I can go further. So it's a big challenge for me.
And is it ever exhausting to be admired?
No. No. How can it be? No, it's such a wonderful thing. It's so beautiful and special and unique to be cherished by other people, loved by other people. Those are enormous emotions that you receive. So it cannot be exhausting.
So it's something you nurture from?
Of course, yeah, because an actor lives from what he receives from others. There would be no actors if there is no others, because who watches them, you know, and that's so important for us.
And regarding your success, all of your career, what has it taught you to protect? Like, did the success make you protect or want to protect something from your personal life, or how did you manage to go side by side with your personal life and with your success?
Well, actually, I'm very lucky because I was born in an era where there were no phones, no social networks, so it was easier to protect my private life. Of course, when you are an actor, it's kind of difficult to have a real private life. In Europe especially, I don't speak for the Americans, that's totally a different thing, but it's a little job to protect your family, my kids, you know, that is the most important thing to protect, because if not, you have to choose another work. Yeah. If you want to protect yourself from others, that's impossible, because you're doing a public work. So of course people are curious, people want to see you, people want to take pictures. That's part of our job. Then you've got to protect certain things, but it's not so difficult.
How do you see this thing now, and comparing to like 20, 30, 40 years when you started 50 years ago, 60? So how do you think this changed, the thing that you have to protect, and how you can do that? Because back in the earlier times of cinema, maybe we didn't have access to so much information.
Yeah, I just said it, you know, by not having the phones, by not having the socials, you know, people would see you on the screen or in TV of an interview or a festival, so they would not know your private life. Today, it's a lot more difficult.
And you have said in many interviews that the family has always kept you grounded with your feet on the ground, so not to lose your sense of reality. What did family give to you, which was that cinema couldn't give to you?
Well, actually, you are mixing up a bit the things, because we are human beings. We live. Then, in our life, we do jobs, we do things, but the main thing is our life. So you cannot confuse the two things. And my family, my kids, my nephews, I tried desperately to give them as much as I could because I wanted them. I really wanted to have a family. And you cannot afterwards say, well, now I changed my mind. I don't want you anymore, sorry. You cannot do that. So those will always be my first and most important thing in life, because that's my real life. The rest is work, I don't want to say superficial, because I don't want to take away anything, because that would be taking away from my career, from my work, for all the people that work with me. So, but it's another thing. Reality is the family. It's what you build in your real life. The rest is work, is wonderful, is amazing, but it's not the real life. And if you keep attaching to that, especially for women, you will have a slap in your face, because sooner or later, like in life, there are moments beautiful, there are tragedy. It's always a wave. So also the job is like this, especially ours. There are moments where moment where it's very dark, moment where you think, oh my God, maybe. So it has to be, you have to have roots where you are wind, sun, rain, you're always there, grounded. Because if not, you fly away.
Speaking about roots, I've read that you really like to connect with the nature.
Yes.
And my question may surprise you a little bit. What does a truly good day look for you? So how would you describe a truly good day for you?
A good day?
Yeah, a good day.
Well, no, that's impossible. No, that's impossible, because there are different good days. When I am in my family, it's when I have all my 3 kids today that are grown up, and I have them all together. It's a dream to see that my kids, my little babies that I always see like that. In fact, sometimes my kids say to me, Mama, but how do you speak to me, you know? Because for me, they will always be my little kids. But it's that is wonderful. When I stay with my nephews at night, I am, oh my God, good that they went home with their parents, because I'm exhausted. But it's so nourishing, because it's pure love. Then it's a good day, like today. Today it's a wonderful day. So there is no one perfect good day.
You were talking about your children and grandchildren. What do they continue to teach you about yourself, about time? What do they give you?
Well, and first they give me love, and it's an unconditional love. You know, they don't look at me like, oh, Nonna, she's so beautiful, her eyes. Sometimes they do say, Nonna, you're so beautiful, or especially the little girl. But, one day my nephew Alessandro, he saw a picture of me and he said, oh, Nonna, this is you when you were young. It was like, oh my God, you know. But that's how it is. But they give me a lot. And by staying with them, with the small one, of course, I learned patience. I learn how to stay with them, participating even in things that I really don't care. Like, you know, when I was with my son, he would love to see a football game. I don't care to see a football game. I'm sorry, I am not. But I would I would. And when I do, I don't sit there saying, oh my God, now I'm watching this game. No, I try to participate, to give them the feeling that I'm there with them. Because I think that the moment I won't be there anymore, they will have moments that will say, pero Mama was with me then, and we come si dice, we share together, I'm sorry with all these languages, we share together that moment where he loved to see a box, which I really don't care. But when I do, I try to make them feel, and I do feel, that I'm there. So this is so important to, when you are with someone and you're sharing a moment, that the person in front of you, a kid, an old man, a woman, they understand that you are there. And that's, I think, it's fundamental.
Now I'll do a little parallel. You are like a good fairy, and you said once that you want to play a good witch.
Yes.
Do you still want to do it? And
yes.
What kind of power would that good witch have?
Well, I don't know, but sure, I don't want to be a bad witch. No, 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 no. I could be a vampire. I would love to be a vampire. Really, I would love to have long teeth. And actually, I was proposed to do a movie, which is 2 years now because they have a hard time in producing it, where I am the queen of the vampires. But she doesn't like to suck blood. She finds it very vulgar. And her husband is a vampire with a toothache. So I thought that this was it. I really hope to do this movie.
Okay. Was it some kind of parody, comedy?
It's a comedy, yes.
Okay. Do you like movies with vampires, with Dracula?
Yes, I do, I do.
Can you tell us which one is your favorite?
Well, you know, I have seen so many Draculas. Yeah. Of course, the one that is more, because the first ones, they were seen by everybody. Now everybody remembers the one with
Bela Lugosi, maybe.
The Gary Oldman.
The Gary Oldman one.
Yeah, that was the huge success. But all the Dracula movies are well done.
Yeah, they always have something very interesting, very particular.
Yes, and this love, why he became a vampire. It's always moved by love.
My final question, and then we will address to the audience. When audience think of you today, what would you most like them to see beyond the famous image? A characteristic or something? I don't know. I don't care. As long as they love me. Okay, thank you very much. Now, thank you. If you have questions from the audience, I think... I got a cold, I think. Here I am. So.
Prima volevo ringraziarvi che siete venuta qua. È una domanda un po' più particolare, riguarda la cinematografia. Volevo chiedervi perché per lei non passa il tempo e siete ancora stupenda e che mangia e siete ancora come prima. Sei molto gentile, grazie. In che lingua rispondo? In English. Okay. I take very good care of me. I try because I would be a soldier if not. But I try to take very good care of me. I don't drink alcohol. I try to live. We live in the country. I like to have around me good energies. Then what I eat, what I don't eat, you want to say. Because we fast 16 to 18 hours every day. Then we eat only fruits for like 5 hours. And we have one meal a day, which has no gluten. It's salad, vegetables, and that's mostly it. We have rice
whole rice, pasta. I mean, we eat very simple, and we try to eat very little.
Was this back in the day as well? So it's a tradition, or is what?
No, that's not. Before I would, but I always have been very careful. Then, when I ended up in the States, there I become more aware of what we were eating. So, since Naike was a little girl, where I stopped giving them sugar. I mean, it's a long time that I have a way to eat that has to be as healthy as possible.
And this is also a way of life, of choosing how to live your life.
Well, it's for Italians, it's like an impossible thing, because Italians eat pane, pasta, pizza, which are so good, and I miss them. But and for Italians, I don't know for Romanians, but for Italians, food is, we have dinner, we drink, we eat, but then we eat too much, we drink too much, we don't give our organs the time of healing themselves. Actually, I did a week of fasting. I never succeeded to do the 3 weeks, because if you do 3 weeks of fasting, all the bad things die and they regenerate. So we have to understand that eating is not partying, And in Italy, eating is having a party all the time. And that's wrong, because we eat to nourish ourselves. And we have shifted from that idea. Now food is like, I'm sad, I eat. I'm happy, I eat. Oh my God, there is a problem, give me a chocolate. And we have put the wrong things in the wrong place. Food is like drinking water. We drink water. Why? Because we need to hydrate ourselves. And that's why we eat, to be standing around. But man is not born to eat like we do.
Do you do water fasting as well?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Louis is the second. Sorry.
Hi, so glad I got the chance to meet you.
Grazie.
Yeah, you scared me to death with your diet, but well, I'm still hopeful. And I hope you won't feel a pang in your stomach, because I'm going to send you a little bit back. You shot a movie with a Soviet director. Did you feel anything in particular him coming from behind the Iron Curtain? And then I was wondering if by doing an amour de swan, what's that? Swan in love? Yeah. Did you have doubts? I mean, Schlöndorff, did he have doubts? I mean, Proust is a cathedral of words. How can you turn that? Well, even if it's an episode, how can you turn that into cinema? So the question: How did you feel about that?
So what was the first one? Because now I concentrated on the second one.
Grigori Tsukhrai.
Okay. It was a difficult adventure, because we went to Russia, which was Soviet at the time, and it was very strict. So very strict. We couldn't have relationship with the Russians. We did, of course, but they really tried to keep us always separate. They would eat in a place, we would eat in another place. On the plane, finally, they put all the Italian crew in the front, the Russian in the back. And we were not supposed to talk to them, but what do? I stand up and I go to the Russians. They tried, but you know, what do? You throw me out of the plane. Yeah, and then I did go hiding at night to eat to a costume designer. It was very hard. It was very hard to see the reality of the Soviet Union. Very, very hard to see how people were living, how people, you know, when I was going to fly to Russia, they told me, bring pens, bring stockings, bring jeans, because everybody would just, you know, I would give them as a present, somebody would use it to get more, but not me. And that was very painful to see how hard it was to have a life there. And it was very hard to work with Grigory, because Grigory was speaking only Russian. So we had always a translator. And you know, you lose, with a translator, you lose authenticity. But we tried very hard. And he was fantastic, but we didn't have that same relationship that you can have with somebody you can talk to. First, because we spoke to different languages. Second, because they didn't want us to have any relationships with the Russians. So that was hard. And Proust was supposed to be shot by Losey with Alain Delon. I said it yesterday. And it didn't happen because, of course, it's very hard to touch such a huge thing like La Recherche, like Proust. But at the end, Schlörndorff, who's German, with Proust played by an English guy, me by an Italian, we did end up doing it. And I think that the movie is very beautiful. Of course, who knows the Recherche very well knows also that Odette maybe didn't exist. Maybe Odette was a man. So already my character, it's really tricky. We don't know if it's even, and I didn't read La Recherche, so sorry. And, but at the end, I think we did a beautiful movie, because Schlöndorff is a great director, Jeremy is a fantastic actor, and I think that Jeremy, he achieved to show this torment that in the Recherche is very present.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you very much. I have a really girlish question, because yesterday before the movie you told about the corsets and how difficult it was for you to wear them. Can you tell maybe about your favorite costumes during your career? What was, because I know that your costumes, for example, from movies from Celentano are now on Pinterest and people trying to repeat it to make replicas of them.
Well, yeah.
What was your favorite one?
Well, you know, modern dresses, more or less, they are beautiful, but costumes, they are really something special. Now, in Swan, I had to wear this corset, and it was really, there were two people by closing it, because they push, and they pull, and you understand what we went through. Since little girls, they were starting to put corset to the girls, and it's really hard to breathe, because they really close you. But then you look at the figure, and it's really amazing. The costume of Swan are wonderful. The costume of Flash Gordon, those are the one that I really love most, because the other ones are dresses well done. In Italy, we have a good fashion, so there are many beautiful dresses, but those are really special.
Posso farle la domanda in italiano?
Puoi, devi.
Intanto sono onorata di stare qui davanti a lei. Io vengo da Milano, origini comunque siciliane e calabresi.
Ah, per cui tu, no, Calabria, ecco. Mia figlia è sposata con un calabrese, la Calabria ormai è la nostra regione.
Eccoci. Faccio anch'io l'attrice, diciamo, sono all'inizio. Quello che mi incuriosisce in questo momento è chiederle, rispetto a quello che ha detto, che chiaramente la vita in generale è un'onda, come questa onda ha toccato la sua carriera, cioè i momenti se ci sono stati dei momenti in cui ha detto che basta, mollo tutto, perché o momenti in cui semplicemente è stato più difficile, come è andata avanti, perché io in questo momento sento che lentamente delle cose si stanno costruendo, però ecco, ci sono chiaramente dei momenti in cui dico, boh, non so se ne vale la pena, fino in fondo, ecco. Vabbè, grazie.
Allora, I'm sorry. We have to make a little distinction because I never wanted to be an actress. So that makes a big difference for me because for many years I was taken, chosen, and I didn't even know what I was doing. For somebody that wants to be an actress, that is a different thing. You feel it a lot before me because you go, I want to, I love this job, I want to, but then you find a lot of obstacles. There, it's your love, your positivity. You've got to work on the universe and ask, I see myself, see yourself on the stage, on a wonderful set, enjoy it, feel it. That is so important. Then in a career, especially in our career, especially for women, we have a lot of up and down. But there is the love of your family, the roots. It's what I said before. It's snowing, my branches are, scricchiolando, but I keep standing. That's the most important thing. You've got to have something that it's outside the work, where you can rifugiare yourself, the arms of a loved one, your partner, your mother, your father, your sister, your friends, that can hug you and say, don't worry, come ti chiami? That say to you, Valentina, it's okay, you like this, go on, just don't get scared. Because I can now make an example. Sabrina Impacciatore, she's a wonderful actress. And in Italy, she has been working, and all of a sudden, she is a star in the States. So there is always an opportunity. We just have to believe in it. Because if you go, oh my God, allora no, allora I give up. That's what you put in the universe, and that's what you receive.
I want to say that I was in my 20s under the communism, and I had the privilege to see watch a screening with your movie by Francesco Rosi, The Chronicle of a Foretold Death. And it is a very beautiful movie, stunning visually. And I wanted to ask you, which are your memories from that movie, from doing the movie?
I didn't understand much. Che ha detto?
What was the experience like to be in that movie and to work with Rossi?
Vabbè, Francesco Rosi was a wonderful man, a wonderful director. He has done beautiful movies. Denunciare, come si dice denunciare? Denounced bad things that were happening in Italy. But in this case, it was a book, a wonderful book. Cronaca di una morte annunciata di Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I love this author because me that have a lot of fantasy, he made me really feel, you feel the sweat, you feel the humidity, it makes me goose pimples, I don't know. So for me it was an honor. It was difficult, of course, because in Colombia it was very warm, very humid. We even lost a makeup man during the shooting. And it was a wonderful experience, I must say. And it's a movie I love very much, even if in Cannes they wrote the next day that they showed them a terrible, Liberté made a terrible title. But I don't care, because I think that Rosi is great. He did a wonderful movie. All the actors were great. So the movie is beautiful.
I would like to ask a further question. How was for you to work during that Italian very political cinema in which they almost fight with the government, the corruption?
Well, I never took part in this kind of movies. Maybe because I don't like politics. I don't understand politics. You know, and I speak as an Italian. So in Italy, Italy is a state where there have been more fallen governments than any other places. So we see up and downs in our, 4 years it's right, 4 years is left. You don't understand anymore, and they promise everything, then they go on government, they don't do what they promised. You see now today it's very hard for them because there are the socials, so everybody records, and you see somebody saying, when I will be elected, I will do this and I will do that. So they put this here, and then when they are elected after 2 years, they put the same person saying totally the contrary. So politics for me is something enigmatic, which I don't want to explore. Of course, we had a very, very hard time con le Brigate Rosse. It was, I remember that we were just going through Rome and police was armed, very much armed. They would stop. It was really a bad energy. But we went through it. Some people lost their life, come Moro, and but that is not for my fault. It's, when you try to change things, you risk. But I am not this person. I don't think I have the strength, knowledge, maybe intelligence, or that kind of intelligence, which is kind of weird. I cannot speak and be in politics.
So you stayed away in a conscious manner?
No, actually no, but I was not that kind of actress that they would need for that kind of movies. Maybe, if they would have asked me, maybe if I would have loved the character, again, I would play a character, then maybe yes, but it didn't happen.
Thank you very much. I'll give you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Looking back on your remarkable career, you both live a lot of memorable and iconic roles. Can you tell us which one was very close to your heart and what valuable lesson did you learn from it?
Well, I choose my roles. I always choose my roles. So I always, when I said yes, I liked that woman on the script. And all women are different. All this character had their own way of being. And when you interpret this character, you learn a lot of another universe. So I got lessons from a lot of my even from the comedies, from Celentano, you learn a lot from a different way of living. So everything is a lesson. But I think that every day, every second, there is a lesson if you're willing to see them. And then what did you ask me?
Which role was the most close to your heart?
I think all of them, most of all of them, because the moment I choose them, I love them. And they will stay with me forever. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Buongiorno. Buongiorno, volevo dire che lei è anche più bella in realtà che su nei video, And now I'm going to ask my question in English. I saw in an interview that you said that your first experience in America, you were not ready for it. Was the way of working in Italy, in the industry, was very, very different from the America?
Yes. Absolutely. Especially like few years ago. The movie business in the States is an industry, and it's treated like an industry. The work in Italy is more artigianale. I'm not using this word to make it smaller. Actually, it's to make it better, because it's a family. So everybody is there to do the best. There is no, you have this role, you have this role, you cannot touch my hair because you are the makeup. It's all together. And there is a way of speaking. There is an interaction that's more real in the States. You know, everything is more, mathematical, right?
What's your favorite film in Rome, all time?
In Rome.
The favorite film?
What's your favorite film?
Film
in Rome.
So,
Filmat in Roma.
From all the movies you made in Rome, what's your favorite one in Rome city, Roma?
Why in Rome?
This was the question. So.
Because I've shot in, most of the movies were shot in Rome, most. Then, you know, it depends if the movie would ask to be in Torino, you were in Torino, in Val d'Aosta, con Francesco Muti. But I really don't care where I am, because it doesn't make any difference where you are, because you go in the set in the morning, you come back at home, or in the hotel. Sometimes it's better in the hotel, so you don't have to see what happens in the house, because we women work and then we go home and there is always something to do. So it does not really matter, you know, where it is shot.
So when you shoot in your hometown, it's a little bit difficult.
I don't live in Rome anymore.
Yeah, but when you...
No, it's not more difficult, but of course it's more, you know, I am a very precise person. I like order, you know, so when you go home and then you see that everything is, because you were not watching, then you go and you put everything in order, you see if everybody ate, if they bought the right thing to eat, you know, it's, you know, don't go home and you go on the bed and you go, well, tomorrow morning I go back to work. No, you enter at home and it's immediately, uh-oh, my plant, I don't have water, this is not done. That's how it is.
So you change your mentality or your mindset if you are home.
Of course, the moment you enter home, you're not an actress anymore. You are the wife of the house, the woman of the house.
Okay, we still have time for 2 questions, maybe, so please.
Hello.
You have the mic.
Sorry. I thought to say it in Italian, but it's going to be horrible. So thanks a lot for your amazing career and for all the emotions you've given us. I was just curious to know, because you mentioned about the starting of your career, and I thought you said that you started by luck. Your first role, you went along with your sister, and if I remember, you got the role. My first question is, has she forgiven you since?
Has your sister forgiven you that you took the role and not her?
Yeah, of course. No, of course, because my sister, before this, she had a lot of opportunities. But my sister was in love with an Italian who was very jealous. So he did not let her. So for my sister, it was not so important. For her, important was to marry and have a family. She would do that because she was working, but she didn't really care. And then, you know, it did not happen because I was better than her. My sister is older than me, and I was playing
a real girl of 14, a Sicilian girl from a small town that had the guts, the courage to change a tradition that was totally against women. Because even if you were kidnapped and not raped, you were obliged to marry that guy. So she changed this pattern that was terrible, because this was women that had to marry somebody that decided, you are gonna be mine. So that's why they took me, not because I was better in any case, because I had the same age of Franca Viola.
Thanks a lot.
Anyways, we never spoke about this with my sister. Maybe I should now.
Hello, Mrs. Ornella. What an honor to have you here. I think during your career you worked with a lot of famous actors and actresses, and I would imagine sometimes you develop a certain friendship, or you have more chemistry with some or the others. Can you tell us if you stayed friends with some of your co-actors, and if yes, with whom? Just to share the experience, how you stayed in
Well,
touch.
actually, I was very friend with Ugo Tognazzi. Then, you know, being a mother, because I became a mother very young, my main thought was work, go home. Because I had her small, then the other ones came, and I had, because I was taking away from them a lot of time, I had to give them my time. I had to go home. I couldn't go party, I couldn't go to dinner, unless it was a really important thing I had to do. So like this, you know, you don't build really relationships, because I was always home, and I still am. I like to be home, actually. But Ugo was my, the actor with Stefania Sandrelli, we had a moment. Christian De Sica. I think that's it.
A small group.
Yeah, but that's my fault, because they would have accepted me, I hope. But having this double life, I had to give one a piece and the other piece of it. If not, then I would never be home, and one day I would turn and I would have kids looking at me saying, you were never there. Which thing that a lot of people try to put in my mind, saying, but you're never there. But that's not true, because sometimes, like say, I made a movie in Paris, and they were a bit older, so I couldn't really take them away from school. It was a lot of night shooting. I mean, on Friday morning at 6, we would stop. I would run to the airport. I wouldn't go to sleep. I would take a plane and go home. So, like this, it's harder to build relationships.
Hello. Have a nice day and presence here. You mentioned Ugo. I have one question. How do you view the modern evolution of Italian comedy compared to its golden age? I think now at Sordi, I think at Toto, Nino Manfredi, Ugo also, Grassman too.
What can I say? Those were the golden age, right? We had directors, we had especially producers that would put money. We had screenwriters that were fantastic. Then things change. Today, there is not really one producer that puts money. It's una coalizione. Sometimes I see movies and I see, you know, before it was, let's say, Dino De Laurentiis presents. Now it's
light production presents, flower production presents, water production presents. Because today, to find funds to do a movie, it's a lot more difficult. So it's difficult to produce a movie. It takes two, like I said before. It's a wonderful comedy, the one of the vampires, but they don't have money. They try to make questi concorsi to get money. It's difficult. So how can it have the same soul, the movie, when everybody puts a bit, when everybody says something, especially the platforms? Because today, since nobody goes to the theater anymore, they stay very short time in the movie theater, then they go in TV. So in TV, you cannot show everything, unless they show it at 2 o'clock in the night. So it's a lot of compromises that we do today to keep going on doing this work. And it's a pity, because going to the movie theater, it's something magic. You choose the movie, you choose the director, you choose the actors, you sit, you shut up, you have to close your phone. And it's magical, it's dark, you are in the movie. Now everybody has screens like this at home. And while you watch the movie, a baby cries, somebody has to pee. Oh, I'm hungry, stop 1 minute. That takes the magic away. It's even an offense to what you're watching.
Do you recollect your first time going to a movie theater?
Of course.
Where was it?
I went, well, my first time.
One of the first.
No, my first time at the movies, I will never forget. My mother was in Germany, so I was with my dad. My dad brought me to see a movie. Already at the time, everybody was smoking. So you would enter in this dark room with this light blue fog and this terrible smell. And then, I don't know why, my father maybe didn't know, we watched the most terrifying movie for me. It was, I don't remember now how it's called. It's this couple, they are on a boat, and she says, well, I get some wine. She gets down, and something passes through son. From that moment on, he shrinks, 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 until he becomes an atom. But there is a moment where he is small, and they keep him in the house of the dolls, and the cat wants to eat him. And then he is in this place, a dark place, and there is a spider. And he tries there, for me, I would never love spiders again. He tries with a needle to sew, to have a battle with the spider. And then he is at this, there are this l'inferiata, I don't know how to say, and he's so tiny, 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 and poof, he disappears.
So a very interesting cinematographic initiation.
Yeah, but I will never forget this movie. I was so small, I went, what the, you know, what's going on? Then my second beautiful was when I saw Mary Poppins. Yeah, because you see also this, when we were small, we would wait to see the Disney movie. And we would go to the cinema, all kids. And it was something that I cannot forget. Today, they put the thing, let's put this, Netflix, what do you want to see? No, but that's how it is, and we have to adjust to the moment. But it's a bit, for whom has lived that, I know what we lost.
Last question, and then we will have an autograph session.
Grazie mille. Signora Muti, buongiorno, è davvero una grandissima emozione e un vero onore stare di fronte a lei.
Grazie.
Vorrei chiederle prima, dato che ha collaborato con Adriano Celentano, è una domanda molto personale, diciamo,
quale sua versione preferisce, la versione del cantante o la versione dell'attore Celentano, e poi se è possibile che ci trasmetta a noi, alla generazione giovane, un messaggio, un consiglio, se vuole trasmettere. Grazie.
Allora, Adriano, it's wonderful as a singer. Still today, we listen to his songs. So he's a great artist. And as an actor, he's very funny. He did a few with Jeremy. He did some few serious movie, but actually he always played comedies. And he has such a charisma that you love what he does. So there is no distinction. I love both. In order to give a suggestion, I am not entitled. I would love to be as smart to say young people, but it's almost impossible because young people and all of us, I mean, I have been like this, we think when we are young that we know better. We know better than you, that you're older. What do you understand? And this, it's, I guess, normal. But today, this is a trap. Because today, young people, they are solicited so much. And I don't want to be, but the telephones, this constant being on this fucking little thing, that if you don't answer, you go, oh my God, I have to answer. I have seen parties with young people silent. I remember mine. We were screaming, laughing, doing stupid games, throwing bread balls. Today, everybody has a phone and they speak to each other through the phone. So, I see my latest nephew, because I'm not always in Rome, I do video calls with my son and my other daughter. I see the little one. As soon as she sees the phone, it's like, the magic stick. She goes, ah. She cannot speak, but she goes, ah. And you understand how dangerous. We don't speak to each other. We don't confront to each other. We don't fight in the face. We fight through WhatsApp. Ah, you did this, you did that. Boom. And she answers. The relationship, the real relationship between human, we are losing it. Today, I was telling before, I don't know whom, but I did. My daughter showed me something that I don't know if I can forget this. She made me see that in the States, they've done like 4 cities with AI intelligence. One is ChatGPT. Yeah, but of course, they cannot be real. Virtual, I'm sorry.
The metaverse.
Yeah, with this 4, Gemini, ChatGPT, and other 2. And most of them, it's a disaster. But then you see this intelligence having not a real body, but a figure. And they interact. Some of them, they fight. So, I always have to think a bit of what I see. In this, I am different from the young generation. I have to think about it. But the more I think about that, by seeing these figures talking, fighting, and we are putting everything in the hands of this, which will, sooner or later, they will replace us. We won't be actors. When somebody will tell me, can you suggest something to the young actors? For what? Sooner or later, there will be the most incredible actress, the most wonderful actor, which will not exist. Already on the social, there are, I don't know, people that don't exist. And people follow them. So I was seeing publicity on, if you feel alone, here there is your AI friend. What? Your AI friend. How can he know? He knows what we teach them. So
who is teaching what? Is it teaching with the heart? Is it teaching with the manipulation? So the risk is so huge that sooner or later we would not know who we are anymore. So I think that for young people, stay in between young people, go out, drink with your friends, smoke a joint with your friend, but do it. Be there, because if not, sooner or later we won't be able to speak to each other anymore, because we have lost the capability.
Ringrazio tanto per questa risposta molto esplicita e complimenti di cuore per assolutamente tutta la sua carriera.
Grazie, cara.
Thank you very much. We will have an autograph session outside. No, it's here. Okay, it's here. So thank you very much, Ornella Muti.
I have my table.